Sawadika, a very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, dear delegates. I would like to welcome you back from your refreshment. And right now we are going to discuss on the topic of what next for CLMVT digital economy. So this session is going to be a very interesting session that we would like to invite all of you to come to participate. And of course that for any of delegates who have any questions or if you would like to share any comments, we will open the floor for you at the end of the session. So right now, I would like to take this opportunity to invite our expert moderator up here on the stage first. So could you please give a big round of applause to welcome Mr. Nathporn Chatusripitak, advisor to the Minister of Commerce, Thailand. Please welcome. And also on this session, that we have an honor to have the great chance to share their view, and of course that we have an honor to have our distinguished speakers up here to joining us for this session. So I would like to invite Undersecretary of State, Ministry of Posts and Telecommunications, Cambodia. Please give a big round of applause to welcome His Excellency Mr. Chea Manit. Please. And next, please welcome Vice Minister of Science and Technology, Lao PDR. Please welcome His Excellency Mr. Houmphanh Intharath. And next, join me in welcoming Deputy Minister of Transport and Communication, Myanmar, His Excellency Dr. U Tha U. Please. Next, please welcome Deputy Minister of Science and Technology from Vietnam, His Excellency Mr. Bui De Sui. Today, of course, we have an honor to have the Minister of Digital Economy and Society of Thailand. Please give a big round of applause to His Excellency Dr. Pichet Durongkaveroj. Please welcome. And next, we would like to take this opportunity to invite Vice Executive President, Vietnam Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Ladies and gentlemen, give a big round of applause to Dr. Doan Sui Khuong. And last but not least, our speakers up here on the stage. Please welcome Chairman of Thai Chamber of Commerce and Board of Trade of Thailand. Please give a big round of applause to welcome Mr. Kalin Sarasin. And may I now hand this session for our moderator, please.
Thank you very much. And welcome everyone back to the plenary session, but with a more relaxed atmosphere on the couches. In this session, we'll be talking about what is next for CLMVT digital economy. And we have agreed on that it will be a very relaxed and casual session. So the topic that we would like to discuss is about how digital transformation has affected each country, and also what each person see as the impact of digital economy on your country and how you would cope with the challenges. And if I may, I would like to start with Your Excellency Chea Manit first. Please share with us any thoughts you have on this matter.
Yeah, so thank you. So first of all, let me thank you again for Excellency Dr. Pichet to arrange this program. And then the Excellency Minister from our CLMVT program. So it is a great discussion. Today we are discussing about moving toward digital economics. So before starting that, think about how the manual economic is going on. So how long we are going far from the manual today. So in the mission grade today, I would wish to briefly about the current status of the ICT in Cambodia. So Cambodia is a little far from, sorry, maybe not. It's a little far from other country related to the ICT, so we very beginning of start. So with the starting of the ICT in Cambodia for the ready in the connectivity, so we have built the infrastructure like optical fiber in the country, totally about 29,800 kilometers over the country. So with the 3 operators. So the main operator is a TC, the Telecom of Cambodia. So and then we have the law on telecom, we have ICT policy, we have ICT master plan. So those remain 2020. So to be ready in the connectivity for the digital economics. So in the ready for that, so we are thinking about the manuals doing practice in the economic. So since understandings, our current status ICT line ministry build like a silo application. So those application is not linked together. So then, since the time, year 2020 need the connectivity is to be ready on that. So the infrastructure in the country is to be done. And then the private partnership is the need. So government cannot be driven alone without the private partnership. So that's why today Cambodia delegation is mostly also private partnership is coming. So I believe on the strategy of the government, so on behalf of the Ministry of Post and Telecom, we would like today to invite those private partnership to be with the government on the toward digital economic. And we are also happy with our CLMVT partner to be support and to be shared with us on how to go with the digital economic in the properly way. Yes. So since today social media is the most be business or be political or be a social thing. So but this freely in the space. So management is the need too. So toward to the digital, we need the legal, we need the law to management on that. So we need the law to be on that, and then to be ready to that, we need a very strong, internet connection, very strong internet connection from Cambodia to the country nearby, across border, and then to the here. Yeah. So currently we have 2 submarine cable. The first one, which is Cambodia connect to Thai and Malaysia, and the second one. We have AAE1, it's connected to Asia and American and Europe. And then we plan to have number 2, number 3 and number 4. So number 3 will be by TC, which is linked to Korea and Japan. And number 4 is in planning. So this is infrastructure is to be ready on that. And our subscription today, mobile penetration, 116 million percentage. That means some people they have 2 SIM card or 3 SIM card, while the fixed phone 1.15 because not much people use it. And the penetration of the internet is 70%, broadband internet 40%, and their own mobile phone 90%, while they have the smartphone 40%, 48%. So top 10 of the website in the country they are using Google, Facebook, and the YouTube as well. And according to the survey, cause of we are not enough the regulation on to collect the revenue through the media or they are doing business in Cambodia. Since the people of Cambodia involved using it, we are found that the revenue of 168 million they are collected with international broadband using. But the government don't have a chance to collect VAT or tax, which is that we know on that and we will do it. And the ICT and the economics during today, today our economic growth every year 7% increase GDP every year. And then we are strongly in the garment, 87% of the good export. And the tourist, 80% of the services export. Contribution of ICT to GDP is about 5%. And the ICT worker, 0.7% of the total. Yeah. So during that, we have policy and regulation. So we have 2014, we have ICT master plan, is helping us by the Republic of Korea. And then we have ICT telecom law, endorsed by 2015. And then we have telecom and ICT development plan in 2016. So this is the plan of on the way to move toward. So we are turning the license regime reform. So before the business, they are licensed one by one. So when they have the business operation, they have to apply for a license, let's say for ISP, for infrastructure, or for anything related to the service. So the company, that's difficult. So we are reforming to a unified license. So specify on the construction and or provide services for unified infrastructure, and another type is providing telecom services. So I don't want to brief so far on that. So Cambodia is on the ready to that, and the physical connection of the cable is done, and digital is need to learn from CLMVT as the discussion. So I believe that will be fruitful today, and to have government and the private sector to be with us, to be ready for 2020 together. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. So Cambodia seems to have a very well laid out plan for the future regarding digital economy. So next, if I may ask Your Excellency Houmphanh, Intharath, yes, to share with us his policy regarding the Lao DPR.
Thank you, Nathporn. His Excellency, CLMVT Minister, Vice Minister, distinguished delegates, participants, ladies and gentlemen. Since we have time really limited for speaker, so I will a short brief of the question that raised by the moderator. What would be possible? You see the impact of the digital economy in our country, and how do you plan to make the opportunity and to cope with challenges? As you may know that while the digital transformation in the world is going fast, in Southeast Asia is growing rapidly. With who benefit from digitalization, many countries set up a policy and encourage a facility of the new economy. Like in Laos, that as you know that the economy of Laos PDR is in the transformation of the centralized to decentralization of economic system, and also implementation of new economic mechanism. Recently, although the economic development is growing continuously, but however, the economic vulnerable index is still high than the graduate of the least developed country of Laos. So the UNDP recommended that we have only one index that not complete yet. So by 2020, we will leave to the least developed country. What the impact of digital economic in Laos? Definitely, there are some impact to our economic development. Our major economic is based on based on agriculture, industry, and services. This is still based on traditional way of doing productivity. Due to the digital economic thing, we need to create environment and prepare some component, included related legal framework, infrastructure, application, and the most important, we need to prepare the manpower to able to support in this process. Currently, both public and private sector. So today we hear from. We are happy that the Lao entrepreneurship, young entrepreneurship, and SME and startup coming here, more than 50 delegates. So I am happy that they are will be participate and acknowledge of how the digital revolution or digital economic to influence to our country. Some the challenges faced for Lao moment is lack of the component of policy that I mentioned already, the legal framework and the registration to support digital transformation is not yet prepared. But we have some legal registration like the e-transaction law, the technology transfer law, or ICT law, something like that. So, but it's not enough yet. It's not complete yet. The second one is the low speed internet. So the internet user in Laos is compared with the telephone or mobile. Mobile phone is more 80% density, but the internet is less than 50%. So this will be the lack of the utilize of the digital itself. Another one is the lack of capacity, capacity resource and capacity for the science and engineering. That the lack of this and low participation of private sector to R&D still have not active. Low research and innovation productivities also. So this is mostly this example for our challenge. But we have a lot of opportunity. But I will highlight for if we have the joy of the CLMVT in the region here. I think that the opportunity for us that will be improve the investment, like foreign direct investment to our country and technology transfer. Science technology network at the regional and international as well. The human resource that I mentioned will be developed, sharing experience, learning each other. The R&D valued add to be benefit that for our CLMVT. Lucky that Lao population is Laos has the youngest labor force since the age between less than 14 years old is cover 34% of population, and the year 15 to 60 is more than 60%. So we are lucky that the young generation will become forced to develop and our economic in the future. So, but for the regulator itself, for our government, we plan that the government and policymaker to immediately rapid transformation of digital trade. This is very important. And to do so, the government and regulator agency will need to cooperate closely with business and civil society. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. What I remember very well is that Laos was able to achieve 4G before Thailand did. And I assume that you also have a plan for 5G coming up.
Yes, sure. The Laos is using 4G early 2 years ago, and now it prepared to 5G, but not. This is a retread, maybe 4.5, step by step. Yes.
Thank you very much. And next, Your Excellency, Thau, may I please? Thank you.
First of all, I would like to thank Royal Thai government and particularly Ministry of Commerce for organizing this event. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Economic reforms beginning in 2011 have driven Myanmar's reintegration with the international community. This has set off an extraordinary series of events, including the liberalization of the telecom sector. While the government has created the right conditions for the telecom sector to grow more than 100% SIM penetration, 80% smartphone penetration, and among the fastest mobile broadband in Asia in just 3 years, Myanmar needs to adopt digital solutions to its most pressing challenges, establishing a digital economy in the process. In 2016, Myanmar government issued a people-centered 12-point economic policy, which aims to attract sustainable investment, increase employment and skills, while raising competition. The plans aim to establish a digital government strategy and an e-government system, as well as a data ID card system. Through modernizing its critical agricultural, tourism, manufacturing, financial services, and infrastructure sectors, improving tax collection and trade, upgrading the education system, expanding the reach of the health system to building environmentally sustainable cities. Widespread adoption of digital technologies will provide inclusive and sustainable socio-economic development across all states and regions as targeted by the government's economic policy. To facilitate Myanmar's digital transformation, in 2017, the government established the Digital Economy Development Committee with Vice President Espetram. The main objectives of this committee is to facilitate effective and successful implementation of national economic policies, provision of governmental supports for the successful emergence of digital economy, development of other economic sectors based on digital economy, and development of social affairs, education, health, and economy by the use of digital technology. The Digital Economy Development Committee is now drafting a digital economy development master plan to guide Myanmar's transformation into digital economy. Myanmar digital economy has high potential if appropriate digital policies are developed and implemented. Due to many years of low economic development in our country, the country trails its regional peers in a variety of digital rankings. However, following supporting reforms and policies in the telecom sector, mobile-related indicators are on par with or leading the region with SIM penetration of more than 100%, of which 80% are attached to smartphones. 3G and 4G rollouts with 90% of the population living within the range of mobile broadband. With widespread use of smartphones and high penetration of mobile broadband, the country presents a unique test environment for digital services. It also points to the potential of Myanmar digital economy to leapfrog its peers, given the right conditions. The development of a digital economy is vital for inclusive and sustainable socio-economic development and increased foreign direct investment across all states and regions. Myanmar's lack of digital legacy provides opportunities for us to learn from the accumulated experience of other countries and deploy the latest technology in supporting economic growth. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and we will come back to you again for more thoughts. Your Excellency, Widesui. Yes.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much to invite us here. Very well organized forums where we have chance to share each country's experience and to see how we can work together to advance our countries toward the digital economy. I have to say that Vietnam is at the moment is far from the set of digital economies. I think we still have a lot of things to do. In order to reach that set, we have to adopt, to develop and to utilize enough digital technologies, as well as to develop and expand our business and market toward a digital economies. However, we can see, when approaching digital economy, we see a lot of opportunities and challenges to Vietnam. We can say that with digital economy, with the new technologies, we can better serve our citizens. We can better serve our private sectors. Everything can be faster, everything can be better with digital economy. The second thing is that we can bring people closer to each other, even from the inside the country as well as all over the world. The example is that with digital economy, we can open new markets to Vietnamese products. For example, nowadays, a farmer in Vietnam, in a province, can sell their own, a whole trees of mangoes to some customer in big city, like in Hanoi or Ho Chi Minh City, without meeting the customer. Like via digital technologies, they can introduce their products and sell their products and get the money back with, only at the harvest the time, then the customer would come and collect all the mangoes. So that's one example that open new markets to Vietnamese product. It also allows Vietnamese people to approach better products from other countries. Before it's very hard to do so, but now with digital technologies, we know new products, we can import new products and new services from all over the world. And digital economy also opened doors to the application of latest technological advances in developing countries like Vietnam and other CLMVT countries, right? Have to improve productivity in existing industries and also create new industry, new businesses. And it also allow innovative entrepreneurs can establish their startup in developing countries like us and then turn it into global scale companies. Before, it's very hard to do so. It is almost impossible to build up a company in Vietnam and later can sell that company in the US or in the Europe. But now it's very easy. Now we can see a lot of new startup in Vietnam with the latest technologies. For example, a company in blockchain technologies, and then they can already call for about $8 million US and then get the money from a lot of investors from all over the world. But of course, that is several opportunities from digital technologies and digital economy. We see a lot of challenges from that as well. We can see that the digital economy can also challenge traditional businesses, or I think a lot of people here can experience that. I give an example, very simple example in Vietnam. That's once we have Uber and Grab in Vietnam. Before we have traditional motorbike driver that ran their services, but then there were a lot of real fight between the traditional driver and the Grab driver because the Grab driver get all the customers very fast, and there's a big fight in the street among those drivers. So that's one challenge for the traditional business. And it also affects employment of many workers, and it really happened. They predict that it will, like the robots and all the machine will take a lot of jobs from, especially in garment sectors. Maybe like 80% of the people in garment sector may have to be retrained. But but that might happen, I think, in 5 or 10 years. But one of the very recent example is that like when the private sector in Vietnam, they buy the autonomous machine, like the lines, product lines from Taiwan or China, they have to find about 100 and 200 people within a month. So it really happens. I mean, it creates challenge to the employment of many workers. So actually, we are doing a lot. I mean, we still have a lot of things to do. We have a lot of things to learn. We have a lot of things to learn from Thailand and even from Laos and Cambodia and Myanmar as well. So currently, in order to advance to the digital economy as well as to face the challenge from the digital technologies, we are the government actually very active in carrying out a lot of action and program day by day. Every month there are new actions, and in order to try to carry out the program to move towards the digital economy. I can name a few examples here. For example, in order to create a very good digital infrastructure, so we have deployed 4G LTEs all over the world, all the technologies by Vietnamese company Viettel, and we are working on 4.5 and 5G as well. And we also try to carry out a program called Digital Transformation Program for SME in order to improve their advantage, their competitiveness in the home world market. We also work very hard to improve the business environments. As long as we have very good and like transparent business environment, then we can force the business to deploy new technologies, and we can call out the like FDI company to invest in technologies in Vietnam. We have a very successful program at the moment we call 844. That is the program to build up the startup ecosystem, and it actually over that 3 years now we have a lot of co-working space, we have a lot of accelerators, and we have about 40 VC to come to Vietnam to investigate in startup, especially on digital technologies like blockchain, AIs, etc. And yeah, we have a lot of program, and I just want to mention the last thing is that we also have the training and education system focusing on STEM, like program for secondary students to learn how to build up a robot. And the last comment I want to say that actually we are facing a lot of challenge in Vietnam right now. One very realistic example is that nowadays every secondary student, every secondary pupil in Vietnam, they can open a Facebook account. Even that Facebook, the policy of Facebook is only allow 18 plus people to open an account. But now with the internet everywhere, with the smartphone everywhere, every people can fake their birthday and they open at a Facebook, and then they can meet anyone in the world at any times and talk with anything. So that is real challenge for the education, for the societies. Thank you very much for giving me the chance to talk.
Thank you very much. As we can see that digital economy poses both opportunity and challenges, and we will come back later to see how we can collaborate and deal with that issue. And next up, Minister Pichet please, if we can have your thoughts.
Thank you. Fellow ministers from CLMV, thank you very much for being here. And thank you, Ministry of Commerce, for organizing this non-trade but digital heavy session. Thank you very much for looking after the digital in your ministry. I would like to be very brief, but would like to comment that there is no doubt from what our friends have been saying that digital technology is now having a big impact on our national development, whether it's economic or social development. There is no doubt. And this is throughout the world. However, if you look at the map of CLMVT, and let's imagine 10, 20 years from now, how are we going to drive from today on so that we can deploy and making full use of digital technology for our region? That is a key question. Even though we have different things in different countries, we have different stages of development. However, if you look at the whole group, our region is very vibrant, very fertile, and has a lot of opportunities that rest upon us to make sure that public policy is well in place to develop together. No one will be left behind. And at the same time, we will make sure that our people will have better quality of life. At the same time, we'll make sure that our regional economy is very strong and robust. Now, the question is how, as 5 countries will move ahead. I would like to very quickly mention 5 items that I think could be a good starting point for us to take off in the digital world. Number 1, for CLMVT and digital, we may need to organize a comprehensive roadmap or master plan of what our 5 countries will do together. This will be a very good kick-off point so that each of us can input the key elements in our economy and look at how the common elements can be well prepared, but at the same time recognizing the differences between our 5 countries, which is not a problem. We may be able to complement the weaknesses that we have with the strength of each one that we are developing. Number 2, I noticed that in the ASEAN region, even in the ASEAN region, there is not sufficient, and Khun Kalin may agree with me, there is not sufficient participation of the ASEAN private sector, especially in digital. So for CLMVT, we don't have to wait for a bigger regional group. We can proceed by linking our private sector to start working together. Startup is one of the areas where we can collaborate. And the young people outside of this room are waiting for us to make sure that, you know, the 5 startup countries can be working together for the global market. Okay? We may even sharing our resources, our venture capital funds together as a region. So that's number 2. Number 3, in terms of connectivity, this is something that is very close to our ministries. We may look at how we can connect CLMVT digitally. It could be landline, fiber optics, satellite, submarine cables, and many more. Why? Because with CLMVT digital infrastructure, we can create a lot of value addition to our economies together. It could be e-commerce, it could be how we can work with each other on the digital healthcare system, especially in times of the epidemic. We can work together. The other thing that I think can be useful, that's number 4, and that is how we can harmonize among us on digital issues. Most recently, if we can harmonize our legal infrastructure, that would be very useful, because many of the digital law, one cannot do it alone. For example, we have many problems with regard to data protection. We have many problems with regard to cyber security. We have problems in terms of the e-commerce in the region, even the over-the-top or OTT. If we can align ourselves legally and in regulation, then we will be stronger to make our case or present our case to other regions of the world. For example, GDPR of the European Union. If we can pack together, then we can make sure that is on the equal footing rather than one-sided. Okay. Last but not least, we have very, actually CLMVT on average is very young, as many of you has highlighted. Thailand may be a little bit older. We are getting into the aging society sooner than CLMV. However, if we can combine forces and work with each other on the human resource development, especially the training part, recognizing the fact that more and more automation is coming in and less human employment would be going on. So we need to solve the problem together. Okay, and the cross-border human mobility would probably be one of the things that we can discuss. Apart from that, we can also work on things like smart city connection. Okay, I'm sure that every CLMV countries already have something in mind about what city would be the first batch of smart cities for each of us. So if we can work together, instead of having just a pair of sister cities, in the near future we can have many pairs of sister smart cities. And we can learn from each other, and we can use the experiences in order to make sure that our smart cities stay healthy, livable, quite smart, and at the same time maybe very green also. This we can learn from each other. So I leave with you the 5 elements that I think will glue us as a community, regional community. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. And next up are our 2 participants from the private sectors. If I could have your thoughts regarding what do you see as the future of the digital economy in this region. Mr. Khuong, please. Thank you.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much at first for having me in this gathering. So I do believe that we are gathering here today just to respond to the fact that the world and our region and our countries are changing thanks to the technological progress. And of course, the world, the region, and our countries are changing. It just not changing themselves, but it also generates both chances and challenges. So there are a lot of chances and also a lot of challenges we face. So that's why, as you may know, that nowadays people call our world, our region, like the changing world is triple C world or triple C region. It means that, you know, our world or region can figure like triple C. It means 3 words starting by letter C. The world and the region will change with chance and also with challenge. So of course, for Vietnam and also for your countries in here, you know, our region changing because of the digital economy and many things. So for Vietnam, as also Dr. Ji, the Deputy Minister of the Science and Technology of Vietnam also mentioned before, for Vietnam we also have chances. opportunities and also challenges. For Vietnam, for example, nowadays the digital economy is booming and become a leading factor in driving economic growth. And nowadays in our country, our government would like to apply the IT in terms of the kind of reduced level of bureaucracy. Because in Vietnam, as you may know, that we moved from a centrally planned economy to the market-oriented economy. So a lot of bureaucracy involved in the government governance. So the IT would be very useful for our country, for our government to simplify the processes, the administration processes, and also reduce the level of bureaucracy so that it can improve the business environment or working environment to our people and also to businesses. And also there are a lot of progresses in terms of application IT in Vietnam. For example, Vietnam nowadays we have more or less 90 million people, but half of our population, they are internet users. And also more than half of our people, they have smartphones. So we are one of the countries which use the most smartphone in our country. So that's why one of giant in the smartphone producer in the world, Samsung, from South Korea, they build the biggest investment factory in Vietnam, Samsung. And also there are a lot of uses of IT and digital technologies in Vietnam, like fintech or blockchains and things like that used widely in Vietnam, especially in the startup ecosystem to help our new businesses to be established, also mentioned in the thing of our Deputy Minister. Also, however, of course, we also face a lot of challenges in terms of having it in our country. In Vietnam, we face many challenges. For example, nowadays, as you may know, that our region, our world is changing. So competition is also a phenomenon of our economy. So competition nowadays is becoming tougher. So we face a lot of competition, not only within the country, but from the business coming from outside. And also legal framework. Nowadays, how control or how to govern the business environment in Vietnam is very difficult. For example, you know, some new kind of model of taxi corporation like Uber, Grab, now they operate the business in Vietnam. But our government now facing the challenge how to control the business of that kind of businesses. For example, how to take tax from them, you know. Nowadays, it's a headache for the government to control the kind of activities. So legal frameworks is a big challenge for Vietnam. It's how to control business in the digital economy. Also, in Vietnam, as you may know, that we are labor-intensive economies. The garment and textiles is labor-intensive industries. Nowadays, because of the kind of digital economy, so in the labor market, the ILO, International Labor Organization, forecasts that more than 50% of all employment in Vietnam is of high risk of being replaced by technology over next decades or two. And also Vietnam is one of the kind of the country which attracts the most foreign investment to the country. Nowadays, because of the use of artificial intelligence, virtual reality technology, robotics, and things like that. So multinational corporations, they can move the production from the less developed countries or developing countries like Vietnam and our country in the regions, you know, move to the developed countries because of digital economy. The cost of labor in the developed countries become very cheaper. So production moving there. So it's in terms of attracting foreign investment in Vietnam. Nowadays also we also at risk that we can attract less investment and also face higher unemployment and socio-economic instability. So it's the challenge for Vietnam. So what is next for Vietnam and also for our countries in the region? I think it's a big question. Our speakers here also mentioned some before. But I think that, I agree with some ideas here is that, we have to have some kind of initiative or ideas so that we can create some kind of model so that we can cooperate in the time to come so that we can catch up with the opportunities or chances coming to us and also overcome the challenges we face nowadays. And in my opinion, I think cooperation is a key for us in the CCC world. The world is changing with chances and also challenges. So cooperation is the key, because, and thanks to digital economy, the cooperation can become more effective in terms of using digital technology, and the cost may be also cheaper, for example. And also, I give you example in this regard. In ASEAN, we also nowadays implementing the ASEAN single window. It means it simplifies the custom procedures so that we can facilitate trade cross-border ASEAN countries, And we expect that if ASEAN single window implemented in Vietnam, so 50% of the cost, direct cost, business cost, can be reduced, 50%, and apart from the saving time. So this is cooperation and using digital economy is the key for us to move forward. So getting together and also we can go stronger and we can go very far in this digital economy. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your 3 C's. So with change brings chance and also challenges. And for Khun Kalin, do you see Thailand, are we in the same situation as Vietnam?
Good afternoon, everyone. Excellencies and ladies and gentlemen. So I'm really glad to be here. Thanks to the Commerce Ministry to invite me to be here today. For the digital economies, everyone talked already. So the more information flows, I mean the faster, and also how to manage the flows. And right now we can see that the digital economies play an important role in our life every day. So our life is easier and more convenient with the digital economies. And I believe that Thailand right now, we're using digital economy to be the mean and the tools to reduce the gap of the rich and the poor, and also how can we use the digital economy to distribute the wealth of the nations. So I can believe that if we can manage well, so this would be better in the futures. So the key challenges right now that I can face is the government officials. So this is very important. So I encounter that, especially in Thailand right now, everybody talking about digital economies, but still in each government official working independently. So if it's possible that each government can work together and roles of the government official to be the supporter and facilitator is much better than regulator, because right now the rules and regulations change very fast because digital economies, the business models change very fast. For example, the banking systems, the hotel systems, the selling product systems is changed very fast. But if the government official cannot follow, so this would be the drawback for that. So what I suggest is possible if we can have some thought from the private sector to help the government official to feedback what's going on and what shall we do, not only for control, but can help. For example, the delegates from Vietnam said that for taxing, how can we tax all these digital part for the e-commerce part, so that the private sector can help all these. The cooperation is a must. And another one is like to say about what the Dr. Pichet said about the human resources. With the new digital economies, that the people can use more automate and also more robotics. So that means that more and more people will have less job. That means we have to retool and retrain the people. Once we retrain the people, that means some part of it they can get the new job to control these digital economies, but part of it they cannot do it. So once they cannot train, and what can we do with the remaining people? So what I suggest that is it possible to train these people to do the crafting economies, to do creative economies, and also the care economies. Although these three things that robotic cannot do, artificial intelligence cannot do it. So that part I think is we should move on that. I think there's a lot of opportunities for digital economies and can help the people see demand and supply. How can we meet and can lower the cost and also more efficient? So that from my point. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have some more C's floating around. And so since Minister Pichet has raised 5 ways that our 5 countries can work together to promote digital economy in our region, and we have also heard from this morning's speeches and also the speech during the lunchtime from Minister Gopsak, that if we as a region can leverage our economy, the population together, what are your thoughts on how we could collaborate? And I will not go in any order this time. If any minister have any thoughts on this, please feel free to add. And also from the private sector too, on how the private sector could collaborate with the public sector.
All right, I will start first. Right. In my opinion, we always say that think big, but act small. So we already, like the Minister of Digital Economies of Thailand have said, we have the big visions of how together the 5 countries can do something. To make a big area for digital economy. That's a very big thinking, and now I think we have to start from some small thing first. And he mentioned maybe we can start from startup ecosystem, and I totally agree on that. We would propose that at first we work on how to work together on startup ecosystem. We did work with Singapore and Korea on that kind of thing. Like for example, exchange of startup. We have co-working space. We have incubator. We can draw the interest from the VC from all over the world. So we have agreed with Korea and Singapore that we can send some startup over there to work in the incubator, and we receive startup from Korea and Singapore to work in Vietnam in order to create startup in Vietnam. And actually, I by myself know that there are several Vietnamese incubator already send startup to Thailand, to Bangkok here, to create their startup here in Bangkok. So I think it's quite easy thing to go at first. Try to exchange the young people startup, and also we have several events for startup. For example, in Vietnam, every year we have Tech Fest. It's the biggest festival for startup. This year we will organize in Da Nang in November, And we would like to invite all startup from CLMVTs to come to Tech Fest. Over there, they're already investors over there. I mean, like, so it's a good chance to come to a countries with cheap flight tickets and cheap accommodation where you can reach all the VC from all over the world. So I think that is the advantage of CLMVTs, where we can easily like move from country to countries. It's like domestic moving. I normally, like when I fly to Laos or Thailand, I'm waiting like why I have to cross the border. It's such like 1 hour flying, and why do you have to cross the border? I always feel that like, I fly within the countries. And I mean, like, and even some startup, they use a car to travel, where they can bring a lot of products, a lot of things to demonstrate at the event. So that is a good chance we can like draw the attention from startup from all over 5 countries to go to each other's events. So that is the first thing. And the second thing, especially we can create a network of investors from CLMVTs and network of co-working space people as well. So that is first thing to do, I think, in order to create more and more startup working on digital technology within the area. The second thing, I think in order to develop digital economy, definitely we need the infrastructure. So like connection is the first priority, but the second priority would be the data center. We cannot rely on like the data center very far away, like in Europe or in the US. We need data center here. Of course, data center need a lot of things. For example, like very stable energy. So one country cannot solve that problem. I mean, like we need to connect the energy networks in order to have like big data center. For example, we have like the energy from Laos to support Vietnam, support Thailand to create stable data centers. So without data center, we can develop like digital economy. So that's the second thing we can do. And the third thing I propose that we should create, I mean, propose to the government, to our prime ministers, to propose some, to have some policy in order to increase the transferation of high quality human resources among the countries. I know that we have the law on Asia, but it's gonna take a long time to go. So at first, we can focus on high quality human resources, like businessmen or professors or investors, something like that, to freely go across the country to share experience, to work together, and then there should be some policy on that, so to let people to stay longer than that tourist visa, like 3 months or whatever. So I can propose 3 things up to now, small thing, but we can do right now. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So thank you very much. And about digital economics, I think according to the discussion, it is not the job for government or for the private alone. So digital economic is a job for all. So that means this is the need for the government and then for the private sector. So how to go on the digital economic faster, and then due to the technology coming up, and if we don't want to go, we just stand still and we are so far behind them. So then in that agree with from the Vietnam, they say the infrastructure is needed the correct way. So that's why Cambodia, we encourage the private sectors to invest with the submarine cable. So currently we have already 2, and then we were planning to have another 2. So hopefully will be 4. So the infrastructure and then the national broadband in the country is have to be solid and then have to be ready for the digital economic. And the capacity building is the main need, because people are working in the government. We have a central level and then the provincial level, and those government office, they have to know how to use the digitalized to be connected with the government to the government, and then government to the private sectors. So at the same time, private sector, they are sometimes they know more than us, because there are business not only in the country, there are business with within CLMVT, and they are already modernized their system with their business partner. So they need the government to join with them too. So what the government going to do? So government going to consultation with them, going to have to know what they are need in the country. So I believe government and the private sector have to go together on the way toward digital economy, together without hesitating. So that means security, cyber security have to be trust and have to be technically, we are not saying so far to ASEAN, but CLMVT, I think among those gonna be Thailand and Vietnam. There are seem a little skill on that. So I believe within the CLMVT family, I think we can coordinate how to make it trusted to people and to business. So business partner can help and government back and forth to that. So our government system, so people have to, the government staff have to be well trained on that. So since the inside the government may be old generation or maybe middle or maybe new coming, so that's ICT is coming great. So we need the capacity building back and forth on that, and then to be ready on that. So I think the infrastructure plus capacity building and ICT security to build trust for all related partners to agree to go together. Thank you.
Yes, I want to share some point that for the possible of collaboration among the CLMVT government that will be promote DG in this region. So follow up the as we know that we have come to the ASEAN Economic Community in 2015. So since before the fourth industrial revolution coming, this name is coming from 2016, I think. But it very fast develop of the digital age, digital revolution. In that AEC that we mentioned already, the CLMVT should be the single market and production base. That will be free flow of investment, of the labor, of the goods, of the investment in the professional force, labor. And this morning that some said that there will be flow of the data. This will be the new that will be flow for our among the CLMVT. And of course for the sharing border of the CLMVT here, not only the sharing with the culture and tourists, but that mentioned to open the ways. For Laopedia that our Prime Minister already mentioned in the CLMVT Forum, Lao is three open. Firstly is open door, second is open barrier, Third is open mind or open heart. That if we three open here will be the together like what we said, the sister smart sister of this region. And I fully agree with His Excellency Dr. Pichet for the 5 points that for the 1 or 2 that I will fully support. The connectivity is very important. The harmonized of legal is also very important, and for comprehensive of the master plan or the strategy or the together, that will be quietly. I think that will be easily among the CLMVT we have to do together. Like this morning, Prime Minister President said, so we have together stronger. For this, I would share that this is my opinion. For the theme of this forum is CLMVT taking off through technology. So may I would like to share that the abbreviation, new abbreviation of CLMVT for this. For C, I will support of the connectivity. The L is lesson learned. The M is mutual benefit or moving forward. The V is vibrant. The T, technology transfer or talent, or like the Prime Minister President said, forward together. And maybe we can share that for the stronger in the future. So CLMVT can be CLMVT 4.0. This is only for giving the ideas for this forum. Thank you.
Today, digital economy is playing increasingly important roles in the region. From IoT, big data, OTT, AI, and from e-commerce, fintech to ride-hailing, we are looking at new and many other emerging technologies and services that take the benefits of the connected world to its full potential. I think the cross-border digital economy can benefit our region and make it more competitive. Of course, the level of readiness for digital economy also differs significantly among us. And there are a number of challenges we need to overcome. So out of them, I would like to mention only one, especially the policy and regulatory harmonization of important areas of digital economy in the region is important to promote digital economy. This includes regulations on digital data governance, e-commerce, cybersecurity, e-payment, and cross-border payment, consumer protection, and intellectual property rights. Enacting laws that support a digital economy are a critical part of the digital ecosystem. In a newly open economy such as our country, there are opportunities to benefit from global experience, and by consulting with the experts when drafting protective laws such as cyber law and additional laws around data protection, digital intellectual property rights, and digital privacy alongside enabling laws for e-commerce. We also need to develop our capacity building because according to the data collected from the telecom operators, our 34% of the population is using Facebook. 35% of the population are using Viber. They are using the data service, or you can say internet, but they are not using for other purposes other than consumption. They are using for communication purposes, entertainment, and social media. We need to educate them. We have to digitally literate them. It is a big task for the government, not only to government to do that, but all the private sector and the public also, they have to follow the trend of the technology and the digital economy. Thank you.
So, thank you very much. So, I think the big question for all of us here today is what next for Vietnam and other CLMVT countries, how we move forward in the digital economy. I think that, you know, competition and cooperation is our phenomenon of our world and also our region. We have to compete each other, of course. But cooperation, I would like to emphasize on cooperation. You know, we have to find the way we work together and get stronger. And in this regard, from the business point of view, I guess the first thing is that we have to focus on the kind of business areas we can cooperate in time to come. You know, and I think that, you know, we have to look at our strengths, our weaknesses, you know, and find out the cooperation areas we can cooperate each with other. And from my point of view, I think agriculture, energy, logistics, tourism, and things like that, you know, would be very good our cooperation area in terms of moving forwards. So in this regard, I guess we have to adapt the IT and also digital technologies in this area, so that we can take advantage of that to move the kind of sectors to go further. Because we don't focus on all areas, you know, because of limited resources or time and things like that, you know, we have to focus on that. So the first thing is to focus on the kind of potential areas we can cooperate each with other in the time to come. So next thing, next point is that, you know, we also have to have some kind of strategy. It means as the regional cooperation, we should have the regional digital economy development strategy. In this regard, you know, we have to set up our goals, or in other words, we have to vision where will we be in the future, in 5 years, 10 years, and things like that. So setting clear goals for all countries to move forward is very important. And also build the infrastructure, hard infrastructure or soft infrastructure, so that we can achieve the goals. And human resource, education, you know, also is other thing in this regard. And then the legal framework in the region we have to create, so that is very, very favorable for any countries, for any business in the region to use the digital economies in time to come. And in this regard, I guess, you know, the PPP system, you know, public and private cooperation is also you have to think of that, you know. And principle is that, you know, because private sector, from my experience in Vietnam, you know, why Vietnam we achieve a lot of successes so far, good result, economic result, because of private sector. Because renovation is in terms of considering private sector like the main driving force in the economy. So private sector is we have should think that is a driving force for us to moving us in the digital economy. So look at the exhibition you saw around the forum, you know, without any guidance, you know, you have a lot of good products using the digital technologies to have very good products, high quality products to serve people around, you know. And also I agree with some of you here present here today, you know, pilot project is very important, you know. I think from the kind of private and also public cooperation, I think that these people now they're talking about smart cities, you know, in the region, you know. So we think of that how we can connect very good leading cities in the region, so that we can have some kind of very good smart cities connection, so that we can compete, also cooperate each other in time to come. And last but not least, the digital economy also very risky in terms of network security, you know, because we take advantage of technology, but technology also have some kind of risk. So I think that network security we have to think of when we move forward. Thank you very much.
For private sector side, I'm sure that for Thai Chamber of Commerce and also Vietnam Chamber of Commerce, Myanmar Chamber of Commerce, Laos Chamber of Commerce, and so Cambodia Chamber of Commerce can cooperate together and work closely with the government. So I'm very glad to be here, and hopefully that we can change the new era of CLMVT. Thank you very much.
All right. And well, thank you very much. We seem to all agree that it's very important for the private and public sector to cooperate together. And right now, if we have any questions from the floor, we'll be very happy to answer any of them. But if not, I was told that dinner is ready. All right. But yes, I saw some hands in the audience.
Thank you very much, Excellencies, and Mr. Nathporn. I won't keep you a long time here from the dinner. I just have one comment that I feel compelled to say, even though I'm a host here and I'm not supposed to be talking too much. But first of all, let me express my sincere and deep gratitude for all the suggestions, concrete suggestions that you have made on the stage here. I really appreciate it. I think many of these can be deliverables for the CLMVT Forum 2018. And the thing that I would like to say is that Minister Pichet said one thing, that thanks the Ministry of Commerce for organizing this, even though this is not trade issue. Sir, we believe at the Ministry of Commerce that digital economy is not only about infrastructure, it's not only about the system. The technology that is changing the world is going to change and has a lot of impact on the way we do trade. But we, trade people, we will be the user of the digital infrastructure. So whatever you discuss here and that we would agree upon to do something together in the future, I think it's not only for the benefit of the digital economy as such, but trade, investment, finance, even education and training and HRD are all comprehensive issues that we have to deal with in order to take CLMVT together in response to the technological changes that are falling upon us here. So it is very useful for the trade people to understand and to hear issues of concerns and challenges, and also, more importantly, to see opportunities that can be reaped from the changing in technology and that is happening in the digital economy. So we are not different groups, we are the same. We are the people who will be use your ideas. We will be, our business people will be the one who benefits from the digital economy of CLMVT. So that's the message that I would like to point out. We are not different, we are the same. Thank you very much.
If I may, since my name has been mentioned, from now on, in your negotiation, especially your trade negotiation, invite us to be with you. We will support you. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you very much, and I believe this is a very good sign for the point that Mr. Kalin raised, that the government has to work together, even different ministries. So if there's if there's no more questions, I would like to conclude this ministerial conversation and thank you very much, Your Excellencies and distinguished guests. So please, another round of applause.
Thank you very much, All Excellencies, distinguished speakers, and of course our moderator. But right now, I would like to take this opportunity once again to invite the Director General, Trade Policies and Strategy Office, Ministry of Commerce, Thailand, to be on the stage and deliver a token of appreciation as our appreciation to all our distinguished speakers. So we would like to start from the executives from overseas. So please, His Excellency Mr. Chea Manit, Under Secretaries of State, Ministry of Post and Telecommunications, Cambodia. Please. Thank you very much. And next, we would like to thank very much His Excellency Mr. Houmphanh Intharath, Vice Minister of Science and Technology, Lao PDR. Also next, Deputy Minister of Transport and Communications, Myanmar. Thank you very much indeed to Deputy Minister of Science and Technology, Vietnam. And next for our overseas guest, also from Vietnam, Dr. Doan Khuong, Vice Executive President, Vietnam Chamber of Commerce and Industry. And also right here, thank you very, very much, His Excellency Dr. Pichet Durongkaveroj, Minister of Digital Economy and Society, Thailand. Lastly, a big thank to Chairman, Thai Chamber of Commerce and Board of Trade of Thailand, Mr. Kalin Sarasin. Dear ladies and gentlemen, after this, I would like to call upon our moderator to receive his token of appreciation, Mr. Nathporn Chatusripitak, Advisor to the Minister of Commerce, Thailand. Thank you so much once again. And all executive and gentlemen up on the stage, all our distinguished speakers, could you please have a good photo session to keep this memorable, and of course that is cooperation between CLMVT region that we are going to support. And this is the key idea to lay the foundations for CLMVT digital economy in order to use and share its benefits. Thank you very much once again. Could you please give a big round of applause? Thank you very much, sir. And these are going to be the memorable of this cooperation among each other. Ladies and gentlemen, could you please give another big round of applause? Thank you so much. Thank you very much indeed for sharing your knowledge and experiences. Dear all delegates, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. On behalf of the organizer committee, I would like to express my sincere appreciation for all your participation. But right now, our session is not finished yet. We also have the party is about to begin very, very soon. So I would like to invite all of you to joining us at the ballroom next to like the conference room. So you can exit this room and the ballroom going to be on your left-hand side. And our ballroom is start right now, so you can enjoy with the welcoming reception that prepared for our lovely delegates. So right here, right now, thank you very much. Once again, this is only the first day for CLMVT Forum 2018. We still have another session tomorrow for our second day of this conference. We hope that you enjoy and you get a very informative session today and tomorrow. We will see you again for sure. Thank you very much once again. สวัสดีค่ะ